Studies Section 1. Historical background of the Nigerian economy. Introduction. An economy refers to any specific collection of interrelated sets of marketed and non-marketed productive activities. The Nigerian economy therefore refers to all economic activities taking place in the geographical domain of the country. Analysis of the political, social, physical features of Nigeria will therefore be discussed in this studies section. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this studies section, you should be able to explain briefly the historical background of Nigerian economy. Historical background of Nigeria. Nigeria, the most populated in Africa, has an area of 923,773 square kilometers, covering 5 different vegetation zones. It is bounded to the north by Niger Republic, Cameroon to the east, the Atlantic Ocean to the south, and Republic of Benin to the west. It has 3 major ethnic groups as well as many other minor ethnic groups, which together may number 250. With this, we can conclude that the country is a multicultural society. In terms of climatic conditions, the country has a wide range of conditions, but the general characteristics of a tropical nation are prevalent. It has 2 seasons. Wet season starts by April or May to November, and dry season lasts from December to March. The mean maximum temperature is about 30.5 degrees Celsius in the coastal belt and about 34.44 degrees Celsius in the north, with a normal 14 degrees Celsius per 300 meters of latitude. Politically, the country gained independence from the British colonial masters in 1960. The political freedom of Nigeria has witnessed more of military rule relative to civilian rule. In fact, until 1999, when Obasanjo was elected, the military forcefully terminated the civilian government in coup d'etat in year 1966, 1983, and 1993. In 1967, the country witnessed a civil war that lasted for 3 years. The number of administrative divisions rose from 4 regional governments: northern, eastern, southwestern, and midwest regions of 1960 to 12 in 1967 and 37 in 1996, including Abuja, the FCT. Before 1986, Nigeria operated more of a mixed economy in which government owned and ran most enterprises. It also had a monopolistic control over public enterprises in areas of mining, iron, steel, power generation, etc. However, with the introduction of Structural Adjustment Program (SAP) in 1986, the nation became a bit capitalist, with major public enterprises either privatized or commercialized. Nigeria implemented 4 national development plans between 1962 and 1985. The first covered the period of 1962 to 1968 and was devoted to putting the economy on a fast growth path by giving priority to agricultural and industrial development, as well as the training of high and intermediate manpower. The second National Development Plan, 1970 to 1974, was launched after the Civil War, primarily to undertake reconstruction and rehabilitation of the infrastructural facilities damaged during the war. The focus of the Third National Development Plan, 1957 to 1980, which was designed under a favorable condition of oil boom, was on the diversification of the economy, balanced development, and indigenization of the economy. However, a significant portion of the plan was not executed because of unanticipated financial and executive capacity constraints. Thus, many key projects were carried over into the Fourth National Development Plan, 1981 to 1985. The execution of the Fourth Plan was also adversely affected by the unexpected collapse of the international oil prices soon after its inception. As a result, the volatility of the oil sector largely determined economic policy direction and financial capacity to execute public investment programs. In reaction to the dwindling oil resources, microeconomic policy distortions and the increasing need to diversify the productive base of the economy, the Structural Adjustment Program (SAP) was introduced for 2 years, 1986 to 1988. The economy witnessed a number of policy reversals between 1988 and 1989 in an attempt to reduce the adverse effect of the measures implemented between 1986 and 1987. From the commencement of the 1990s, the government shifted the investment of economic transformation from 5 years development plans to 3 years rolling plans. 4 rolling plans were in place in the decade. Presently, the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy (NEED) is on course with various strategies and enhancing the growth and development of the economy through value reorientation, poverty reduction, wealth creation, and employment generation. Overview of Nigerian economic system. Nigeria is blessed with many physical and natural resources. She has modern seaport and airport of international standard at Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Warri. In terms of land use, 31.0% of the total land area can be classified as arable, of which 30% is for permanent crop cultivation, 23.0% for pastures, 15.0% is for the forest and woodland region, while 28% is for other uses with negligible percent for irrigation. In terms of mineral resources, the country is endowed with abundance of crude oil. She is the 6th major exporter of the product in the world. Other mineral resources available in Nigeria are limestone, tin, kaolin, gold, and silver, coal, lead, zinc, gypsum, clay, shale, marble, graphite, iron ore, store, zircon. 3 are also vast reserves of natural gas, which are only beginning to be exploited. Endowed with fertile agricultural land and numerous mineral resources are listed above, the economy is agrarian and primary in nature. Prior to the oil boom in the 1970s, Nigeria depended largely on primary commodity exports such as cocoa, palm oil, rubber, cotton, and groundnut for its natural income. However, in the 1980s, there was a shift from agrarian monoculture to a dependency on petroleum production. The degree of diversification away from primary activities has been insignificant, thus reflecting the dominant feature of factor endowment in the structure of economy. Environmentally, Nigeria is plagued by a number of problems such as soil degradation, pollution, and lack of appropriate conservation policies. In this case, of land resources, rapid growing population, excessive cropping, and exploitation of land for agricultural purpose have adversely affected for environmental sustainability. The main environmental issues relating to forest resources concern conservation of biodiversity, energy policies, and management of the remaining forest on sustainable basis. Issues involved in water resources management relate to the protection of the resources of water as well as those concerning the use of water. Dualistic nature of the Nigerian economy. One of the features of the Nigerian economy is the dual production system whereby traditional or informal or curb market system coexist with modern systems. The modern system is more productive and efficient owing to the utilization of modern production techniques which permit a very few number of workers to produce in commercial quantities and so as to cater for both domestic consumption and exports. On the other hand, the traditional informal sector is relatively inefficient, producing basically for subsistence. This structural dualism is common in agriculture where 90% of output comes from the traditional farming, with subsistence production, unfavorable land tenure system, and extensive use of land and the practice of shifting cultivation. Studies session summary. In this studies session, we noted that Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa with a total land area of 923,773 square kilometers covering 5 different vegetation zones. It has 3 major ethnic groups as well as many other minority ethnic groups, which together may number 250. Nigeria, therefore, is a multicultural economic society. This is the end of section 1. Thanks for listening.